Hey, sixth graders, I'm back for a review video today on surface area of prisms. Remember these from yesterday? Okay, I'm going to do just one example of a rectangular prism and one example of a triangular prism on how to find the surface area. So remember, that's taking the shape and basically splitting it apart and seeing what's the area of each shape and then adding it together. So I'm going to jump up front and we'll just get started. Two examples, a nice quick review for you, okay? All right, here's my first example. We've got a nice rectangular prism over here, and we are just going to jump right in. Okay, if you remember right from yesterday, or whenever you watched the last video, I guess, we've got a rectangle right here in the front, okay? An area for that rectangle is going to be base times height, except there's two of them, right? And then there's the side rectangle, and there's two of those, and there's the top rectangle, and there's two of those. So our base formula, what we do every single time we see a oops, why'd I write two? Every time we see a rectangular prism is going to be 2 times base times height, and we have to do that 3 times. That was a struggle. Okay, so let's just jump right in, okay? I want to start with the front rectangle. So this one right here that I'm outlining in red, okay? You can pretty easily see that the base here is 8. And then if you look at the height, we're actually looking at the number all the way across on the other side. So if you go straight back, it's actually this distance that's going to be the height. So we're going to have 2 times 8 times that height, which is 3.5. Okay, so let's do that math real quick. We'll do 8 times 3.5, and that is 28. And then we're just going to do 28 times 2. So we have 56 for the front and the back. Let's do the sides next, which is this. Does it matter what order I do these in? No, because we're going to add them all up together anyways. Okay, so I've got 10 on the bottom and 3.5 on the side. So I'm just going to do 2 times 10 times 3.5. We have to do 10 times 3.5, which is 35. And then we're going to do 35 times 2, which is 70. Okay, and the last shape I'm going to do is red, which is this one right here on top. All right, so I've got this red rectangle on top. It's the same as the bottom. So I'm also going to outline the bottom because that's where my measurements are. So my base is 8, and my height there is 10. So this is just going to be 2 times 8 times 10. And what's 8 times 10? We know that's 80, right? And 80 times 2 is just 160. So now I have all 3 sides. Let's add those together. 56 plus 70 plus 160. 286. And that's your answer, but you got to add a label. So we'll put feet squared because we're doing area. And there you have it. That's a rectangular prism. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is, let's see, a triangular one. We did this one in the other video. So let's do this one next. All right. Here it is. Okay, so let's think back to what our formula should be, okay? Remember, the first thing we've got here that's different is triangles, and we've got 2 of them that are the exact same size. So the first thing I'm going to do is 2 times base times height divided by 2, okay? Because that's going to be for my triangle. And then coming off of the triangle, because it has 3 sides, each of those sides has a rectangle. And rectangle we know is base times height. So we just have to do that 3 times. And then once we're here, we can just start to fill in the numbers. So the first number I'm going to use, or color, will be red. We will do the triangles first. That one right there. Okay. So I need the base, which we can see is 16. Okay, now the next thing we want is the height, which they give us actually right here. Notice how their line is originally red? That means it's just a measurement, not actually part of the shape. So we can see that it's going to be 6 times 16 divided by 2. So I have to do 6 times 16, which is 96, and then I'm going to do 96 divided by 2, which is 48. So then I'm going to have 2 times 48. And if I do 2 times 48, that's 96. Marker's being crazy again. Okay, 96. Now, if you've noticed something, because we're multiplying with a fraction here, this is kind of like 2 over 1. And if you cross simplify, these 2's could actually cancel each other out. And all you have to do is the base times height to get your final answer. Now, if that didn't make any sense to you, just ignore it. But if it did, that's another way to think about doing those triangles. Okay? So the next thing we've got here is the rectangles. So I like to start on the bottom so I don't forget any. So we're going to do the bottom one. And that is 16 times 9. We can see that right there. So we'll do 16 times 9. I don't know that off the top of my head. So it's 144. Then we'll do this one right here in the front. That would just kind of flop over if we opened it. My base is here, and my height is right here. 10. 10 times 9. That we know is 90. And my last rectangle, I'm going to have to do, I'll just do it in black. And it's really kind of hard to see because it's this one right here in the back. So here's the top. There's a side right here. And then it goes down along the bottom. And then it goes straight up like that. Oh, weird, right? Okay. So the measurements that we need are this base right here on the bottom. I guess it's a little bit further. Okay. Where else do you see another base? Right over here. So if this one over here is 9, we can assume that this is also 9 times, and then we just need, I'm going to erase that so we can get rid of it. We just need this length, which they tell us is 10. So we have 9 times 10 again, which is 90. And then our last step is going to be to add those together. 96 plus 144 plus 90 plus 90. 420 meters squared. And there you have it. There's your review. Just 2 quick problems. And hopefully it's starting to make a little bit more sense to you. And I will see you in the next video.